TOMz.
To another action-packed sci-tech adventure apha ku TOMz siphathulwe ngabaqola uNqinkqi we-SABC Education kwaligumbi lase SABC Mzansi for sure.
Yazi ukuthini ke wena bonke lento ezikutshelena ngeke uze uyikholwe. Yazi ukuthini about 60% of your entire body yenziwe ngamanzi.
60%? That's like more than half, dude.
Exactly. The brain is made up of about 73% of water, which explains a lot in some cases. Kodwa ke we do not realize that water plays such a huge role empilweni zethu.
Nyaleyo siyakanga ukuthi thina we tend to take clean water for granted, whereas more than 780 million people in the world don't have access to it. Why many die as a result of water-related diseases.
Ingakho ke kule nqubo yethu namhlanje. So besifunda kabanzi about the process of collecting water and making it clean, as well as know how it's possible for us to skate on water.
Ready for the most intense episode in this amazing liquid. Check out namhlanje skip what. Coming up on TOMz,
learn about the water cycle as we discover how water changes its form and moves around and around the world.
Get recreational as we visit an ice rink to find out how this amazing fun zone works.
Find out about the processes that go into making our water safe and clean.
We get technical as we delve into the 4 spheres of the earth to see how water moves around in them.
Our fingers get the buzz of life when we find out about the apps that will keep you in the water loop.
And some savvy career advice helps those who simply love this liquid.
Okay, so we know that water moves round and round in this water cycle thing.
And what is water made of? We went to ask you guys. Take a look.
Yeah. Nah, actually, water is created like naturally.
Water is basically made out of H2O, hydrogen, and other stuff.
Water is made out of water vapor.
Water, yeah. The only thing I know about water is like Mick Jenkins, right?
So yeah, good to see there's a water cycle, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't remember.
Okay, let's say okay, fine, it rains, and then there's a process with, okay, obviously, someone's going to and then when the sun, like the clouds clear up, okay, the sun will shine again, and then obviously it will hit the water, which the water will evaporate again, and then it will rise, though you wouldn't see them rising, but it will rise and then form clouds again, and then it rains.
And water can come in different forms, right?
Yeah, it can.
Tell me about the forms.
Can be icy.
Okay.
Gas, rain and
teenagers on a mission, SABC 1.
Water is made up of 2 elements being hydrogen and oxygen. Now that means that its chemical formula is H2O. So usually we mean water in its liquid state. But we all know most that you can freeze water to become ice, which is its solid state, while when you boil a kettle, steam comes out, which is water in its gas form.
Now water is super important for life on Earth. I mean 71% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. Now look at there's more water on Earth than land. Now the amount of water on Earth stays pretty constant though, because it moves through what is called the water cycle.
The water cycle is always continuing on Earth and consists of 4 main elements. Now the first is evaporation. So here the sun heats water on Earth and turns it into a gas, making it evaporate and rise up into the sky to form clouds.
Now in the clouds, the water vapor cools down and forms liquid water again. Now look, process lena sibiza condensation. When water gets heavy, it falls down from the sky in the form of rain, hail or snow, and we say that precipitation occurs.
Now as the water falls onto the earth, it collects in different places. In the ocean, dams and rivers. Now collection, and it is the reason why you have water in different catchment areas on earth.
Now a catchment is the area from where water collects in a very natural way.
Now and they typically turn into places where fun water sports can happen, like skiing and fishing.
Now another way for us to have fun with water is the ice rink, where you can literally get speed going on water.
Touchdown, not gate, my friends, and we're still carrying on talking about layers of the earth, and I'm trying to put on ice. And I'm about to show you how we do it right now. Let's get it. Good afternoon, sir.
Ted's the name.
Caddy's the name. Welcome to TOMz.
Hi, Caddy.
Nice to meet you.
You're welcome.
So Ted, tell us, what is a ice rink?
An ice rink?
Yeah.
Look, it's a facility, an entertainment facility, a sports facility. Very popular, especially in the European countries, Canada and the States.
Okay, so tell me, how did you build the ice? It's
a repetition of thin layers of water. You start off just like a rain, a very light rain, a mist type bit of water. You need to put slow layers on and also it will dry a lot quicker. We run a refrigerant in the actual floor. There's approximately 12 kilometers of piping, which is pushed through there under pressure from a refrigeration plant, from which we can adjust the actual temperatures and the hardness of the ice. The temperature settings vary, which we can do.
Because how do you maintain the ice to keep it like frozen all the time?
To maintain a reasonable thickness of ice, we have an ice resurfacing machine called an Olympia, which has water tanks and it also has a blade. While it's being driven around, it actually shaves off plus minus 2 millimeters of ice. So you're cutting and you're laying water that will replace the 2 millimeters that you've actually taken off.
Okay, so how thick is the ice?
The situation we're in South Africa with load shedding and whatever, instead of being able to sort of keep the ice thickness at a plus between 2.5 and 3 centimeters, we're running more at 4.5, between 4.5, 5 centimeters thick in case there's load shedding, and we lose a lot of that because the refrigeration plant would be off and we wouldn't be able to freeze. It's going to melt. Okay, so we're carrying a thicker layer of ice, which is not ideal because the thicker we have the ice, the more energy we have to use to maintain that thickness.
Can the ice crack?
No, it's not going to crack unless you have a temperature setting that's too cold. Then there is the possibility of it, but it's very unlikely.
So tell me, how many skaters can you have on the ice?
I would say we're looking at, if everybody's on the ice and you haven't got people sitting up in the seating area, I'd say 600-700 people you can sort of accommodate there. But ideally we have to, you know, have a restriction on the amount of people that we allow in because of safety regulations,
Okay, so tell me, can you use anything to skate?
The guys and girls that come in that don't have their own skates, we do hire skates out. It's just a basic rental skates, which is fine to start learning to skate. But once you decide whether you're going to get involved in a particular sport, the ice sports, there's the ice hockey, the figure skating and speed skating. So for the figure skating, you'd go to this particular skate here, which is a figure skate. There's different types of blades and different types of toe picks, depending on their ability and their skills for jumps and spins and things, turns and whatever on the ice. The next skate is the ice hockey skate. It's a top of the range skate, more for a top skater, provincial, international hockey. This is the skate you'd be going for. Okay. Then you actually have the speed skate. These skates are not allowed to be used in our public skating sessions per se. These are actually used in the Winter Olympics for racing competitions, world championship, things like that. And there you can see the actual front and the back of the blade protrudes beyond the toe and the heel. But that's it. That's for maximum speed. The more blade you've got in the ice and the acceleration, that's it. With the other skates, they actually have a bit of a rocker on it, so they're only skating on a small amount of the actual blade. With a speed skate, it's the full length of the blade to maximize, you know, the ability and get the best speed out of it.
Of course.
When it comes to amanzi is how to clean it.
Now, best way to so how exactly you can determine how clean or dirty water is.
Now, water quality is very important to keep us healthy. Thola kabanzi how South Africa makes this happen and discover our incredible world of water. TOMz.
TOMz to bring you the rest of information namhlanje on amanzi siphathuleke ngabaqola uNcinkqubo apha kweligumbi lase-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.
Now amanzi abaluleke kakhulu for yonke into ephilayo la emhlabeni. Now we've discovered today ukuthi kahle there is more water on earth than land.
Now we've also had some serious fun at the ice rink to see how amanzi can be frozen for sport.
Now, water quality describes the chemical, physical and biological nature of water and how much it is fit for a specific use.
Now, to shower or to uvasa imoto does not need to be as clean as the water you use for drinking or cooking. Or does he ask Ganjani if the water is right for a specific purpose or not? And how do we clean it?
Your fresh boy still on a mission by Fair to Sakubang on topic yet and I'm trying layers of the earth water. We'll touch down in Medval Water Company to Vakashalabakopasha. I wasn't Kasalagabazing water purification. It's you and me in this mission. Let's get it! What exactly is water purification? Charlene, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and you, Gary?
Great. Welcome to TOMZ.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, Charlene, to our viewers at home, can you please tell us who you are, your profession, and where are we exactly?
Okay, Gary, I'm Charlene. I'm responsible for client relations at Scientific Services.
Yes.
It's the laboratory service at the treatment plant. And this is Medval Water Company.
Yes.
We're a bulk supplier of drinking water. And what we do is we abstract water from the Vaal River.
Okay.
This is the intake tower, and this is where it happens.
So can you tell us the history about this river, where you get all the water from?
Okay, the Vaal River is unfortunately heavily polluted. It originates in the Mpumalanga province and it flows through the Gauteng province, through northwest up to the Northern Cape.
Yes.
And it's divided in the upper, the middle and the lower Vaal. So that's where our name is derived from, because we are located on the banks of the Middle Vaal River. And when I say it's a hypertrophic river, it means that it's highly rich in nutrients, which is comes from effluent, which is either sewage effluent, which is either not treated at all or poorly treated.
So basically you take the water out of the Vaal River,
Yes.
you purify it.
Yes.
What exactly is purifying water?
It's taking all the unwanted substances out of the water, which makes it unsafe or unhealthy for you to drink it straight from the river.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you tell us the process and how you do it?
Yes, what we do is, firstly, we take the raw water and we introduce it to a pre-ozonation step.
Okay.
Where we dose ozone at a very low concentration just to inactivate the algae. The algae grow due to all the nutrients in the river. It's supposed to be there, it's a sign of a healthy river, but when algae is too much, then that becomes a problem. So what we don't want to do is, by dosing pre-ozone, we don't want to kill the algae, because when they die, their cell walls break open and they release tastes and odors or toxins.
Okay.
If that might be the case. So we just want to inactivate them and prepare them for the next stage.
Okay.
So after pre-ozonation, we add chemicals to aid floc formation, and then the water enters a dissolved air flotation process.
Okay.
After that, we dose ozone again for a different reason. It's to oxidize unwanted substances and to improve the color, the taste and the odor of the water.
Okay, Charlene, can you tell me why is it important for water filtration before human consumption?
Okay, the filtration step reduces turbidity as much as possible. It removes algal cells and it also removes some of the microorganisms that poses a health risk to consumers.
Okay, so Charlene, obviously you guys have a lab where you do all the testing, right? Tell us more about that.
Okay, Gary, we've got a SANAS accredited laboratory. That means that the results you get from us will still be accepted anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
What we do is, we on a day-by-day basis, we test the water from the Vaal River as well as the water that we distribute from here to make sure that it complies to the limits that is set by the South African national standards for drinking water, and also to make sure that the water is safe and healthy. Okay, so when we test the Vaal River, we know what to prepare ourselves for, because the Vaal River fluctuates, not always the same.
Round 2 of this mission by Fair to Sakubega inside this lab begins again. Sabona Putam Gujan. Yeah, Peter, welcome to TOMZ.
I'm most welcome.
So, can you please introduce yourself straight up at your profession?
Alright, Nangu Kabelo, Michael Ditopo. Well, I'm a lab analyst, but I'm an intern, and I do fluoride and TOC analysis. But on this lab, inside of this lab, I do and fluoride analysis.
Okay, so Kabelo, what do you do inside this lab?
Okay, I get the fluoride analysis.
Okay.
And then what happens is I get samples from Julia. I get the samples from the samples of ordinary fluoride. Okay. And then what happens is user the instrument ya Tiamo electrodia fluoride and fluoride standard lead reagent starting.
Okay.
And then after that the content in the fluoride and then we mix the standards the QC, which is the quality control. And then we on the fluorides modi samples tate.
And lastly, can you tell us what we can do as people of Mzansi to keep our water clean?
Yes, we have to stop polluting our natural water resources like our dams, rivers, boreholes, because South Africa is a water scarce country and that's the sources of our drinking water. And the more polluted it is, the more difficult and expensive it is to treat the water to make it healthy and safe to consume.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, pleasure.
Remember the water cycle? Well, this process happens within the 4 spheres of the earth. Now, geo means ground. Therefore, the geosphere includes all the land, rocks, sand, and minerals of the earth.
Now, hydro means water. So the hydrosphere is all about water on the earth, like water in the sea, dams, polar ice caps, and rivers. Now, bio is a prefix for life, and thus the biosphere includes all the living organisms on earth, like animals and humans.
And then lastly, there's the atmos, and it is the Greek word for air. Now, although guys, it covers all the air around the earth, like in
So when water evaporates and moves up in the sky, it goes from the hydrosphere, where water is, into the atmosphere, the air.
And when it condenses and falls back to the ground, it goes back from the atmosphere to the geosphere. Easy, right?
That's a lot to remember. Logically, it does make sense.
We'll get some tips on how to ukhumbula as well as cool apps to get you in and out of info jam.
Amanzi kahle kahle abuyaphi futhi ungenzani ngawo in the future, and which career can you follow if you just love this transparent liquid? Ungayindawo siyabuya khona manje. TOMz.
Africa lokhu wena usabukele unqa phambili kweze science and technology apha kweligumbi lase SABC Mzansi fasha.
Proudly brought to you by the SABC Education. Namhlanje ke sikwimishini yethu ukuthi sithole kabanzi about the liquid that makes up most of the earth ekuthiwa yini amanzi.
Kunjalo kanye we use good old H2O from yonke into bethu from watering the garden to cooking food. So namhlanje ke we're finding out about this resource is all about and how we can actually take care of it.
Now, water supply has been the #1 important factor for humans since the dawn of civilization. We've always tended to settle near a place where fresh water was available, like in Mfula.
How did you get to where we are today in terms of water supply? Let's find out. In the Neolithic area, more than 6,000 years ago, abantu dug water wells to get water deep in the ground out for use. In 1723, a private water supply company in London called Chelsea Waterworks Company built ponds to supply the city of London with water. Now, during the early 1800s, the owner of a bleachery in Scotland built a sand filter to purify water, it led to the first large-scale water treatment plant in London. Now, in South Africa, the Water Act of 1956 was put into action to help control water resources, and protect it for future generations. With a growing population, abantu are becoming nervous about water supply for the future. Technologies though, like filtering out the water in cow poop for use, or learning from the way our kidneys filter water to design aquaporins membranes that filter the salt out of water. Now, abantu are also making low-cost water filtration devices like the Live Straw that filters water without needing any electricity or batteries. So what about coffee? Doesn't that count?
Sure it does, but the caffeine in coffee actually prevents water from reaching important parts in your body. It's actually working against yourself.
Oh man, there's always a downside, isn't there? Well, the time you want to get your body healthy with water, more about it, check out these apps and the website. They know what they're talking about and will put you back into the excitement of water.
Okay, so if we go about healthy, right? One of the first steps of course is to drink more water. Download water your body with smartphone yako, and it's to calculate how much water you're supposed to drink each day. Figure out how much is in a cup and in glasses, and it's good for your body, especially your skin, nails, and weight management. If fun learning is more your thing, get your hands on Where's My Water 2 for your Android. Lana, you'll make your way through tons of levels about water and how it moves while trying to beat your friends' scores. And finally, go to www.waterwise.co.za and click on the Fun tab. Lana, there are loads of games and extra information that will teach you all about being wise when it comes to water like Mzansi. And at the same time, you'll be having fun. How dope is that?
Now, there are so many different careers that have to do with water, from engineers and planners to environmental specialists.
Now, a very important part of water, though, is cleaning it. And water and wastewater treatment is one of the first steps to providing clean water for use by people and in industries. Now, there are many universities of technologies and other private institutions that offer courses in this.
For a certificate in water and wastewater treatment in general, uzodinga umetriki, at least 40% for English, science and maths. In other places, you might be able to get into a course without actually having umetrik. Kodwa ke uzodinga e-work experience, previous short courses behind your name. Now have a look around the web for available courses like through the Water Academy, who offer lots and lots of different courses where you can actually level up your knowledge.
Now my researchers predict that by the year 2050, more than half of the world's population will live in places where water is scarce.
Now, there will be more jobs in water, and it will have a big impact.
As a matter of interest, you know, the public skating is the one that really keeps the ice rink doors open. You know, the whole idea is to come down, enjoy the vibe, DJs, music, boys meeting girls, having fun. The transition from that into either figure skating, the hockey or the speed skating, that's what's available. We also have a skating academy. It's an 8-week course for beginners, all ages, adults as well, and we cater for all of that.
For those of you who are interested and passionate about water and water treatment, you can visit any technikon, university or college. There's a variety of courses and degrees that you can attend. Water is such a broad field to go into, and then there are so many opportunities out there, career opportunities. You can either become an operator, a laboratory analyst, a consultant, or maybe get yourself involved in water affairs and be a regulator.
It's so nice to watch your show. I didn't even know that some of the species actually do exist, and I do not like snakes. They give me goosebumps. And I go to #throwback episode.
Today's topic is so nice because it provides geniuses like me with more info to feed our hungry brains.
Easy then to go Facebook, see TOMz, on Twitter at TOMz_SABC_1. Go Instagram, soba.
TOMz TV_SABC1. Keep tweeting. Hi, that's all we have for today. Why is September that you enjoyed getting a new perspective on Amaz and are excited for your future bubbly careers?
Now, if you have any questions or comments, put them on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and remember to check out www.tomz.co.za. For now, though, it's a goodbye.
Coming up next time on TOMz. You breathe it rhoqo. Sifumanisa ukuba i-oxygen lena ingantoni kanye. We see the amazing invention that allows abantu baphefumule phansi kwamanzi. We meet an unforgettable young person who shines in overcoming their difficulties. We find out what's inside the asthma pump. Sebenza njani? Zungaphosa kwena ke ngu-TOMz. Qho ngemivulo nangolwesibini ngentsimbi yesine ngqo enhloko apha eSABC1 Mzansi Show.